Imagine walking into a room, pouring out your soul about a business idea you believe in with every fiber of your being, and being told number. Now imagine that happening 242 times. Most people would quit after 10. Howard Schultz didn't. Those investors weren't rejecting a bad idea. They were rejecting the seed of what would become a $100 billion global phenomenon. They were rejecting Starbucks. Today, we are diving into the book that reveals how resilience built an empire. Pour your heart into it. By the end of this video, you won't just know the history of coffee. You will have the blueprint for building a company with a soul, learning how to treat employees like family, and understanding why passion is the only currency that matters in the long run. Howard Schultz wasn't born into money. He grew up in the projects in Brooklyn, watching his father work dead-end jobs where he was treated like a cog in a machine. This book is his personal manifesto on how to lead with the heart, not just the calculator. The story really begins with a trip to Milan, Italy. Schultz walked into an espresso bar and was stunned. It wasn't just about the caffeine. It was the theater, the romance, the community. The barista knew everyone's name. It was an extension of their home. He realized America had nothing like this. In the US, coffee was a cheap commodity, flavorless stuff you drank from a styrofoam cup just to wake up. He saw a vision of bringing the Italian coffeehouse tradition to America, a place for conversation and community. At the time, Schultz worked for a small coffee bean roaster in Seattle called Starbucks. When he pitched this idea of selling brewed espresso drinks to the founders, they hated it. They said, "We are roasters, not restaurant owners." They refused to change their model. Schultz was so convinced of his vision that he quit. He started his own company, Il Giornale, but he needed money. This leads us to the most grueling period of his life. He needed to raise $16 million, and nobody understood his vision. He pitched 242 investors. 217 said number flat out. It was humiliating. They told him coffee was a commodity, that Americans wouldn't pay for premium espresso. But Schultz knew that if you pour your heart into your work, you can create something others can't see yet. Eventually, the original owners of Starbucks wanted to sell. Schultz scrambled, leveraged everything he had, and with the help of a few key investors, he bought the name. He merged his Italian cafe concept with the Starbucks name. The modern Starbucks was born. This is where the book shifts from a history lesson to a masterclass in leadership. Schultz decided that to build a great customer experience, he first had to build a great employee experience. You can't expect people to smile at customers if they are miserable. In a revolutionary move for the retail industry, Starbucks began offering full healthcare benefits to part-time employees. Investors hated it. They thought it would kill profits. Schultz argued it was the only way to build loyalty and dignity. He didn't stop there. He introduced Bean Stock, giving stock options to every employee, from the executives to the baristas. He wanted everyone to be a partner. He wanted them to literally own a piece of the success they were creating every day. The result, while the retail industry had a turnover rate of 400%, Starbucks had a fraction of that. They saved millions in training costs because people stayed. Treating people well wasn't just charity, it was a brilliant business strategy. Schultz coined the term the third place. There is home and there is work. Starbucks was to be the third place, a sanctuary between the two. A place to relax, read a book, or meet a friend. The product was never just coffee, it was connection. As they scaled, the temptation to compromise quality was huge. Flavor lock bags were invented to keep beans fresh during shipping. Schultz refused to use cheaper beans or speed up the roasting process, even when Wall Street pressured him for higher margins. The book shares the story of the Frappuccino. Schultz actually hated the idea initially. He thought blended drinks weren't authentic Italian coffee, but store managers in California begged to try it. He let them test it, and it became a billion-dollar product. The lesson: you have to listen to your people on the front lines. They know what the customers want better than the CEO does. Schultz learned that being a visionary doesn't mean having all the answers. It means recognizing a good answer when you see it. As Starbucks opened thousands of stores, the soul of the company was at risk. Schultz talks about the fear of the cookie-cutter experience. They had to fight to make each store feel local and welcoming, rather than a sterile corporate chain. Schultz recounts a tragic robbery in a DC store where 3 employees were killed. He immediately flew there, not to do PR, but to cry with the families. He dedicated all future profits from that region to violence prevention organizations. It showed his true character. Deep down, Schultz realized he was trying to build the company his father never had the chance to work for. a company that respected the worker. This emotional drive is what fueled his obsession with dignity and respect in the workplace. This attention to detail extended to the food. Schultz insisted that the pastries, muffins, and cookies had to match the quality of the coffee. He wanted simple, high-quality vegetarian ingredients that complemented the roast, not overpowered it. Starbucks spent very little on advertising in the early days. Their marketing was the cup itself and the experience. Schultz believed that mass advertising could build a brand, but only an authentic experience could build a connection that lasts a lifetime. What are the major takeaways for us? First, don't settle for the status quo. Everyone told Schultz that Americans wouldn't pay $4 for coffee. He proved that people will always pay for quality and a superior feeling. Second, success is best when it's shared. By giving equity to his employees, he created a workforce of partners who cared about the outcome. Greed is a short-term strategy. Generosity is a long-term growth engine. Third, everything matters. The music, the smell, the lighting, the clean counters. Retail is detail. If you compromise on the small things that customers can see, they will assume you are compromising on the big things they can't see. Applying these principles changes you from a transactional manager to a transformational leader. Whether you are running a small team or a huge company, pouring your heart into it means making yourself vulnerable enough to care deeply about the outcome. Schultz advises, find something you are passionate about, something that captures your imagination, and then pursue it with every ounce of your energy. Don't let the naysayers, even 242 of them, stop you from pursuing your vision. Starbucks wasn't built in a day. It was built one cup, one customer, and one partner at a time. It stands as a testament that you can build a massive, profitable enterprise without losing your humanity in the process. As Schultz says, if you pour your heart into your work or into any worthy enterprise, you can achieve dreams others may think impossible. That is the true secret behind the Green Mermaid logo. If you enjoyed this summary of Pour Your Heart Into It, please hit the like button and subscribe to Book Summary's Repo. We bring you the world's best business and personal development books every single week. See you in the next video.